Good afternoon, and welcome to Blindformers. I am your host, Blind Prime, and this is Cream. We are here today to bring you Transformers War for Cybertron Seige Springer. Here he is right now with his two amazing swords and, his shoulder guns. He is known as a triple changer. He has 3 modes, and we will be discussing them in order of appearance. From robot mode, of course, being that this is the mode that the Transformer is purchased in. Springer, this is the Seige version. There's apparently a Generations version, but I don't have that. All I have is my Seige Springer here. And for me, Springer's really amazing. I enjoy Springer. We'll get into the transformation and stuff as soon as we talk about his height and the fact this guy, for being a Seige figure, at a Voyager on that, actually doesn't have that many Seige ports. He has 11, and that was kind of sad. So let's find our Bumblebee. That isn't the Bumblebee. Hey. That isn't the Bumblebee. Where's my... What did you do with my Bumblebee, Cream? There it is. There's Bumblebee. Alright, so we got Bumblebee here. Bumblebee stands up to Springer's waist. Maybe a little higher than that. Yeah, not much. Bumblebee his head is at the very bottom of these vent things on Springer's chest. So separate, put Bumblebee back over there, and we'll talk about his height. That sucked. We will talk about his height now. His height is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He is 21 studs tall. As Voyagers go, this is about the average for Voyagers that I have noticed. And hi, Cream. And now, let's get to the transformation. So to begin off, you will first want to remove all of his accessories from his body. So take the swords out of his hand, which are pretty nice swords. Take this spinny doohickey that the swords plug into to make the helicopter off his arm, which was using as kind of a spinny shield. Take the guns off of his shoulders. There you go. And now we have a Springer missing stuff, and he's already kind of coming apart. This guy does not like to stay in robot mode too well. His chest always pops out. I wish they had given us some deeper pins there to hold the chest in a little better. And this thing definitely has a few of the flaws, but its transformations are a lot of fun, and I do enjoy it. So, to start off, we will take care of the chest first. So to take care of the chest, first off, grab both of the arms in one in each hand, and then pull them away from his midsection area. What are you doing, Cream? Cream? Cream, get out from the front of the camera. Just go, Cream, go away. Do something other than what you're doing right now. Lay down. Thank you. All right, so after we take the arms and we separate them from the chest midsection area, and you just took out Bumblebee. What are you doing? Don't you be chewing on anything. Alright, so when we get the chest, first off we want to take the front of the chest. It's on its own hinge, and it will pull forwards. And this will allow it to fold up and over Springer's head, and hide his head in basically what will become the front area for most of the vehicles. Cream, no, these are not your personal toys. Will you stop playing with my grouping of accessories? Cream, get out from in front of the camera. No, go somewhere else. You were good over there. Go over there. Good Lord. All right, so we take the piece that we just folded over his head, and we take that and fold it underneath his back. Now, his backpack actually is this piece that has a long bar-style hinge, and it folds away to reveal this more sturdier underside of it. Actually, what you would consider his backbone or something, underneath the backpack. Yep, go over there. Thank you. No, don't just stop. Don't bite me. Why are you acting a butt? Why are you being a butt? It's not playtime, you crazy little guy. Alright, So now that we have the head folded up into the compartment, we're going to take the backpack and just fold it all the way up so that it's sitting almost straight up and down, and that's going to give us some leverage to do other things with, and we don't have to worry about that backpack getting in the way right now. So we're going to start off doing the helicopter mode because I like that mode the best. And to start the helicopter mode off, and it's advisable you, at least I say, begin with the helicopter mode because getting from the car mode to the helicopter mode is more of a chore than getting to the car mode from the helicopter mode. Now on his forearms, he's got these pieces of plastic that feel different. You can feel they have a different, well, they're made out of a different plastic, and it's on a hinge. So you want to fold up the covering that is on the forearm, and then you pull that up. Then you rotate that forearm piece 180 degrees, and you fold the arm. Well, on the shoulder bit, you have to fold out these two panels that are on the back end of the shoulder, and one of them will have a 5mm port inside of it, and that port will plug into the fist of Springer. And then this bit that you unfolded and spun 180 degrees will fold down to cover a portion of the wheel and act as some sort of a flying strut, which it will sit on when it's in its helicopter mode. So we will follow the process on the other side. The back of the shoulder, unfold that panel, and then unfold the panel from inside of it. Then go over to the forearm, unfold the part of the forearm to allow it to rotate. Pull it up out of its socket, rotate it 180 degrees, and then plug the fist into the Seige port that is on the underside of that panel, and then fold this piece that you unfolded from the forearm down so that it covers a portion of the wheel that's on the forearm. Now, those parts are finished, and we can actually kind of just fold them forwards so they make a semblance of helicopter. Well, at least the semblance of the front of the helicopter. Now we move over to the legs, and the legs of this guy are fun. They do a lot. So first off, we want to take the wheels on the sides and fold them up. So they're at 90 degrees folded upwards, and after that, we want to then take the legs, and we're going to do a couple of things with them right now. First off, we're going to inside. Let's see if I can get a good angle. Okay, there we go. Inside of his crotch area, and there is two points that plug into each other, and there's a joint. There's a hinge. So what you want to do is unhinge both of the legs. So you snap them off of their hip positions, and they will fold downwards. And it will make the legs just a bit longer and very loosey-goosey. So after you've made these legs very loose and long, phrasing, you will then rotate each of these legs. But you don't want to rotate them from this hip area that you unfolded. There's multiple places where you can rotate the legs. You want to rotate them at the hinge that's right above the knee for rotation, not the hinge that's above that one. So rotate each leg at the hinge so that it's so that everything shows up on the other side. Follow the other step. Rotate at the hinge, not at the hip. Rotate at the hinge. The hip wants to rotate with it all the time, so you have to fight that just a bit. But to make the helicopter work, you have to make sure all of these things are lined up with each other, and that they are as flush and you are as equal on each side as possible, because the helicopter mode will require this in order to properly work. Now that you've done that, take the foot and rotate it away from each side. And the foot is actually connected to another panel. So find the foot, find the panel that it's connected to, and then you want to disconnect that entire panel from the side of the leg. Right where the foot is, it will snap off and rotate downwards on its own hinge. Once those panels are removed, you can then take these wheels and fold them all the way from their 90 degree to their 180 degree position. Inside of each of these wheels, on the side that will peg into the other side, you will find that there is this little bitty thing folded up in there. It's a little winglet. You want to take and grab that little winglet out with your thumb. It is difficult. What's up, Cream? It is very it's difficult to get your fingers on it. They didn't really give a great spot for that. But once you folded them, what are you doing now? You were good. Go back to where you were. Why? Why must you destroy everything? And don't lean on the tripod. That's where the light sits. Crazy cat. Okay. So now that you've folded up both of these little winglets on the wheels, you can snap the wheels together to form the tail of the helicopter, and the little winglets will snap together to perform that little wing that's right above the helicopter blades on most helicopters. And after that, we don't need to do any twisting of the waist with this guy. Just fold up the piece that was his backpack so it's out of the way, because this last part is a bit weird. So now that we've got these legs folded the way we want them, we can take these arms and fold them in just a bit, because we're about to get to the part where we crunch it down. So you want to scrunch this guy down, but not too much. For the car mode, you want to scrunch it down all the way. For the helicopter mode, you want to give it one scrunch. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. Fighting me? No, you're grabbing my camera stand and trying to pull it towards you. Don't do that. You'll tear everything up. Okay. So now that we've gotten these two pieces on all layered out, the arms are folded up out of the way to allow us to fold these two leg panels into place now that the entire body is scrunched up. Maybe you should actually fold these panels down and put all this in place before scrunching the body up, because it can lead to problems, and I didn't do that. So we're just moving on. Now that is, get in there, you little. Thank you. Okay, everything's snapped into place. The feet just kind of chill out on either side of this mode. They will come in while they're doing that when we're done, towards the end of the transformation. There are two Seige ports, rectangular ones, on the top of the helicopter tail, nearest to this piece that folds up and down. Now, you want to make sure that this piece has two rectangular Seige pegs, and they're going to actually plug into the sides of the tail in those two little ports that are right at the hip line. Now, getting this thing to plug into them properly is a bit of a chore. It doesn't want to ever do it correctly, and sometimes it doesn't do it evenly, and that means that one of them didn't get in, but the other one did. And there you go. You get those two in, it becomes very, very sturdy, and then you lower the front down. There you go. And then you fold the arms in, or the sides of the helicopter now, in, well, rotating that down and messing all of that up by putting too much pressure. So, put those down. I don't know why the top of this guy keeps popping up like that. It is a little annoying, but also you got to realize the helicopter is going to fly mainly like this, but I don't think it should. And getting this guy to line up properly is always going to give you a chore. You've got to fold the arms down, and this is where the problems with this guy come in, because the hinges that the arm assemblies are connected to the rest of the transformer with have a lot of hinges on them, and it can really screw everything up if things aren't folded properly. And for some reason, there we go, that's in there, and that's in there. Those guys are straight. And for some reason, once again, this back bit is not plugging in. This is not a fun transformation. I'll give you guys that one. This is actually why I've been waiting for so long for this guy to do it. You have to fiddle with this one quite a bit, the helicopter mode. Even though it is my favorite, it is also one of the hardest modes to get into. I rank it up there with Devastator just because it's got some quality issues. It requires a little too much, and then it doesn't actually offer enough pin stabilizations. Like, had this thing actually had more than just those 2 connections, and maybe a couple of actual 5mm port connections, it would be a lot better. But there's the majority of the helicopter. So what we're going to do now, see, it flies kind of like that. We're going to then take the swords, and remember that helicopter piece I told you about earlier? Well, this is now going to come into play. So we're going to take the helicopter spinny bit, and we're going to plug each sword into it. So 1 sword on one side, 1 sword on the other. Make sure that the serrated blade areas of the swords are exact opposite of each other, so that, it's the proper shape for a helicopter. And we will take and plug that into this backpack area, and it should spin. Look at that. Now we're going to do another bit that is a cool little way to hide these guns. So take the gun that doesn't have any ports on the sides, the one that's flat, doesn't have any of the bits sticking out, and you take that one, rotate, flip the helicopter upside down, and there in the tail section, you'll find that there's a little hollow area, and then you can just kind of shove that in there, and it just sits in there like that. Look at that. And it's, let's see, make sure it's not too tall, and it's just a little too tall up there, but one of my helicopter blades is a little bent from the box. And then that last little gun, the one with the siege ports on the sides, the siege peg, rectangular ones, plugs right into the underside of the front, and now you have your helicopter. Yeah, you're a good cat. All right, so that's the helicopter mode. Let's talk about it. So the helicopter mode stretches. Let's get the pad out here. It stretches from boom to boom. Let's see, right there. All right. We get 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 studs long in its helicopter mode. Isn't that neat? Well, no, 23 studs long. I got that wrong. In its helicopter mode, let's get the cliff jumper if I can find it. You're laying on my cliff jumper, aren't you? Hey, don't start biting me because I'm feeling around your butt. You're the one that's laying on everything. You big old fat lummox. Where's Cliff Jumper? Oh, here he is. You batted him all the way over there? Alright, so here's the Cliff Jumper. We can compare Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is as long as the tail. Maybe a little longer. Yeah, slightly longer than the tail section, but not by much. Actually, Cliff Jumper is as long as these blades are on Springer. So if you want, if you had a Springer, every time I mention a Cliff Jumper sizing, you can just take one of these swords. We're just going to show it for the camera here. And there. Springer's swords are exactly as long as Cliff Jumper. I mean, it's weird how correct that is. Okay. There's the helicopter mode. We didn't discuss its width. Its width is, here we go, at its widest. This guy is a beast. He is fat. 10, 11. He is 11 studs wide at his widest, and 3 studs wide, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 3 studs. 3 studs wide at its widest. I mean, at its thinnest. Cream, you are just incorrigible. Yes, you are. Yeah. Now on to car mode. So first, to get into car mode, take off the helicopter bit on the top. Then pop out this gun that you stored into the tail of the Springer helicopter. Then underneath it, unplug that last pistol that you plugged into the underside. Now, we're going to take and unfold the backpack. Go ahead and fold it all the way up in there so it's just out of the way right now while we deal with the transformation of the legs. And for this mode, honestly, the legs are going to get transformed the most. So we just take and fold these panels up that we unfolded earlier. Just fold them out of the way for now. They don't need to really get connected back to the main guy because we're still going to use them. And then we're not changing the squishedness. We want it to stay squished, but we're going to go ahead and plug the hips back into place. So it may take a moment to actually get them to snap into place, especially if they're not right. There it goes. Nope. not snapped into place? Why aren't you snapping into place? Maybe just pull it out just a bit to snap it into place. Snap and snap. There we go. We got the hips back to where they belong. They've snapped into place. Now we've got to rotate the legs a bit. So we're going to make sure that these things are folded in. Fold the tires back into their sides of the leg like they were before. And you want to do that with the other tire. Bam! Just like before. It's plugged in. And then I'm going to take these tires, or these legs, and we're going to rotate them 180 degrees again. Yeah. So, before we rotate them, this is the part where they actually fold at the knee. So fold them at the knee, like fold them out so they're laying down flat, and then rotate them. Like before, for the making of the helicopter, you had to fold the legs at the knee, so the legs folded backwards at the knee. This time they're not folding at all at the knees, and instead we are rotating both legs again like we rotated them before, except backwards, making sure that you rotate the right thing, not the wrong thing. You can rotate the wrong thing, trust me. So remember, it's that rotation that's right above where the knee joint would be. It's that one rotation right before the other rotation, because there's 2 rotation points on his legs. And you want the one closest to the knees, not the one furthest from the knees. Then, what you want to do is take the feet and fold each of them so that the siege ports are facing the sky. Now that that is complete, we got to connect them all together. Now this part is a bit on the tricky side, because what we really want to do is you got to rotate both of these feet so that they can move so many ways that it is a little difficult to rotate them properly. But you want to make sure that the heel, or actually no, that would be the front toe of the foot, is hinged up just a bit, because if you try and do it with the toe facing down, you'll get caught up in the leg assembly. And now we will take and kind of fold the legs together to create the back wheel. There we go. And these 2 feet, siege port things, should cover up that area on top nicely. And after we've done that, we fold these guys down. Well, we fold the back panel down, and it's going to plug into the legs, actually. So we just got to make sure it's all stretched out, because we do need to stretch it out for this guy. What did you do? Okay, cool. So that goes there, like that. Here we go. Make sure that backpack plugs into the tops of the feet. It can be a little difficult because both of these feet move so much. This is one of the few times where I wish there wasn't so much movement, because you have to just fold every little one of these joints that likes to move in 10 different ways. And you got to make them move in just this one specific way, but they never want to. So now that that's complete, make sure that the head is folded back, and we're going to go over to the arms. Now the arms, you have to unfold the forearm from the backpack, from the shoulder bit. Rotate that assembly. Remember, we rotated that thing and set it over the wheels. So you want to rotate it backwards 180 degrees, and then fold that panel back. And then you plug it back into the arm. Now, it may take a moment, because sometimes this thing fights you, but there you go. Now we do it with the other side. We unfold the arm from the shoulder assembly. If it will unfold. All right, I gotta first unfold the bit that we covered over the wheels. Then take and rotate that 180 degrees. Fold the arm out once it's rotated, because that rotation kind of locks it into place. Snap it back down, cover it back up with the forearm. Put that forearm cover back down. Fold it so that the hand, once again, hits, goes into that siege port. And then you want to fold these guys down. On the front of the vehicle, on either side of the front engine area, it has these 2 bits that fold down. You want to fold them down now. They would get in the way and sometimes break off, but they're easy to put back on. And there we go. And come on. Make sure that those little things are sitting underneath. the tire assemblies, because you're going to need that little extra space to actually plug all this in. Now the car itself is set up now. We just need to rotate and move things properly to put them into their right spots. These arms will give you a hassle. They do not like doing what you ask them to do. They are definitely very, very angry arms. Come on, arms. Get in there. And like I said before, this thing is all about the folding of these arm joints, and the littlest wrong fold can lead to so many problems down the road. Okay, so you line it all up. You make sure it all snaps into place. You may have to fold out the arms again just to fold them back into place, and a few times until you get it right. Then you want to make sure that this backpack is folded correctly so that it snaps into place at the back wheels. And why isn't it working again? I swear to you guys, Springer here, I've done a couple of videos on him now, at least trying to complete one Blindformers video, and this dude never wants to transform right on video. Or maybe it's just video shy. I don't know. But it just doesn't want. Everything's got to fold so right, and that's the... I love Springer. I really enjoy this figure. I just really do not enjoy this transformation. It requires way too much movement. Like, they over-engineered this to such a degree that... Oh, maybe that would help if I shoved everything back down. Okay, yeah, I unsquished it to move some stuff around, and I forgot to re-squish it. Remember, you gotta re-squish it. It's gotta be squishified. Alright. Then these fold up. There it goes. Come on, there you go. There we go. Alright. So you just had to fold those two arms up all the way so that the headlight bits on the sides actually worked, and then make sure that all those bits are folded into place so that this back can actually snap into its places like that. Alrighty. Now, we are done with the transformation. Let's work on his crazy awesome gun. So, what you want to do is take his pistols, and you'll see that one pistol has a siege port and the other one has a siege peg. Plug them into each other. Now, one pistol has these little notches on the sides for rectangular siege ports, and each of your swords has a little notch on its inside, and actually he can store these on his back using these notches. I didn't showcase that. Now take this gun with these two swords plugged into it, and plug it into the top of the helicopter mount with its siege port, and then you plug it all into the topmost part of that, and you get this awesome turret that spins. It shoots swords. Cream, it shoots swords at you. Okay. Now there's my cliff jumper. Now cliff jumper on this end style. He's not too bad off. There we go, there's cliff jumper. He stretches from the headlights of the armored mode of Springer back to almost the tail area where the back wheels begin. And he is, of course, much thinner than Springer. You see on the sides here, Springer comes in at 17, 18, 19, 20 studs long in his vehicle mode, his armored car mode, 8 studs wide at his thinnest, and 10 studs wide, or 11 studs wide, or no, more like 12 studs wide at his thickest, and that is Springer. Transformation-wise for Springer, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 in complexity, mainly because of those hinges I talked about. And enjoyableness of transformation isn't that great, but in the figure-wise and the vehicles you get out of it, they are kind of fun and awesome. But that's it for now. Say bye-bye, Cream. Say bye-bye, Cream. We will see y'all next time for another Blindformers episode, or of course a More Than Meets the Eyes episode. And remember, subscribe, share, comment, like, and of course, visit HasLab and check out Victory Saber. #VictorySaber. Peace.